We're talking about people who don't have it when it comes to doing television, doing series. We have been gifted for, I'll say it, 30, 40 years of source material, from books to comics to games, things that can be picked up and adapted. And there was a period of time when you could do that. When they did it, they tried their hardest. It wasn't perfect, but they tried their hardest. Where, biggest example, Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Sure.
It's not perfect, but goddamn, Peter Jackson did it with love and care.
Agreed.
Did it with love and care. And we forgive those who are the hardcore purists, the hardcore Lord of the Rings fans. They're like, okay, left this out, left that out, kind of did that wrong. But you know what? It's still done with respect. But somewhere after 2010, when the woke mind virus infested, you were given a piece of source material. And instead of saying, all right, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read through this, I'm going to make sure, if you were brought in as a talented director who didn't know the source material, you sit down and do it. I'm going to read it, understand it, and
do the homework.
Give it my best. Do the homework. Perfect way to put it, Jed. Do the homework. Now, I would do a thing, but I don't actually want to throw one of my books. They're handed these things. Here, I'll use this. You're handed this and say, they throw it away. They don't care. It's like, yeah, now I got soda on my hand, but still, they throw it away. They don't care about the source material. They'll do whatever they want in the name of agenda, in the name of pleasing the modern audience that they are constantly seeking to replace us. In 4 days, Wheel of Time season 3 will happen. Now I'm not reviewing it. There is no point, especially with what I'm about to show you and talk to you about. There is no point in reviewing this because they aren't even on book anymore. I've said this repeatedly over and over again. They aren't even on book. What I'm criticizing is truly now pure fan fiction. And last night, after what some of you in the audience today will know was a disastrous run at Starship Troopers last night. It was a complete disaster. We learned some hard lessons about some of the changes they made to the game and how you can't just stand there and play defense. You got to go out and do the missions. Otherwise, you'll get Endless Horde, which we got 3 times. Didn't win. After that, while the boys were playing some Monster Hunter Wilds, I was just chilling. I'm sitting here, eating a scone, having a nice time, relaxing, cooling down. Delicious. I made delicious scones yesterday. They're great. They were so good. I'm sitting here, and I'm chilling, and I'm doom scrolling. Because what else? I'm sitting here. What else am I going to do at that point? It's 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to doom scroll. I need to stay up for another hour for the goddamn daylight saving time shit. So I'm doom scrolling, listening to the guys talk about what they're doing in the game. So what do you think I find? What do you think I find? So, well, besides the porn. Hey, it's X. It's everywhere. All right? It's everywhere. But what do you think I find? Yesterday, with 4 days to go, the geniuses at Amazon allowed the only base they have to watch the first episode. So they're doing a 2, maybe 3 episode drop in 4 days. They already let people watch it. So the clips are out there. Now, if you follow me at all on X Twitter, you know I've been harassing the stands. I got blocked by a couple. I did get a couple wins here there. I've been harassing the stands, these fake fans, these show watchers, and some traitorous people who claim they like the books, going, "Oh my God, this is great," talking about scenes that in the sit that don't actually happen in the books. And I've already accepted that. But then last night, and somebody in the Killing Chat already knows where I'm going. You already saw it. Last night, I'm doom scrolling, and I find this. Now, I'm not going to play it because, one, it's 30 seconds. It'll get me hit. But here is their version of Elayne Trakand, who was one of the 3 loves of Rand al'Thor, the Dragon Reborn. My favorite. I like Elayne. She's my favorite. She should have met him 3 seasons ago, in the first season, but they cut all that out in season 1. So they have met. It was a love at first sight situation with her when he climbs over the wall in Camelin and she sees him and she helps him out. It's a love at first sight. She loved him from that moment. And then a couple books, 4 books later in Shadow Rising, Rand meets Aviendha. Who, and now this Elayne chick right here, they got her sort of right. She's actually the most attractive person in this show. She's at least somewhat pretty and has the right look. But then Aviendha, who's an Aiel, who they're all redheaded and between 6'3" and 6'6" in height. They're all tall as shit. And she is built like a supermodel. Okay? First of all, I've showed you this is Aviendha on the show.
She's none of those things you just described. Not a single one of them.
And not and less than mid. Less than mid.
I was just about to say she's not hot.
No, she is not. Hey, 1 second. Hold on. Let me bring it up. Let me show you what Aviendha is supposed to look like. Hang on 1 second. This is what Aviendha is supposed to look like right here. Here we go. Here's one. This is Aviendha in the books. Or this is old fan art from back in the day. That's Aviendha.
There's a pretty lady.
That's Aviendha.
All right.
That's
that is
what she's supposed to be.
Acceptable.
Yeah.
Yes,
That is what she's supposed to look like. That's Aviendha right there. That's, ginger supermodel. Cut your penis off if you get her angry, but ginger supermodel. 6'2", hot as can be. But this is what you get.
Well,
this show.
She's a ginger, so
Ginger side is real.
Well, it's just because they're dyslexic and.
All right, so
they are.
So now Aviendha is also one of the 3 loves of Rand al'Thor. Now, when she meets Rand, she's already met Elayne in the books and loves her like a sister, and spends 2 books fighting her attraction to Rand because she believes that he belongs with Elayne, and tells him so for an entire book. You belong with Elayne. You should look at no other woman. Don't look at me. It's a whole thing. To the point where it's obnoxious what she does, but she fights it. To the point where also the Aviendha ends up being the first one to jump Rand's bones. In Fires of Heaven, she jumps his bones, pops his cherry, so to speak. So you've got Elayne and Aviendha in the books, who are basically first sisters, eventually sort of, you could say, sister wives, even though Rand doesn't actually marry, although Rand does eventually knock up Elayne and put 2 babies in her belly. Point is, what do you think they fucking do in this show?
Just a guess, they're gonna scissor. Ooh, 2 girls are gonna be kissing. It's gonna be hot.
Why do you make them gay? This is retarded. They are going to say, look, there comes the scissoring. Here it comes.
You can press play now.
No, because I don't want to get hit. This is terrible. This is this show. This goddamn stupid, retarded show. This is not what anybody who really loves ask for. These are 2 women who have a true sisterly platonic love for each other. But hey, hi, I'm Rafe Judkins. I'm going to make them gay. And Rand isn't even in the picture here. Neither of them have really met him at this point, or if they've seen him, they've kind of mashed them together at the end of last season in an obnoxiously bad way. And not to mention they skipped a whole other bunch. So they're skipping all this shit just so you can have them be gay together. And of course, the stands are, this is a tiny account. This is the one I found last night. They love this shit. These fake fan stands who worship this show. Everybody's gay and they love it. But the problem is, by doing this, you destroy every relationship possible in this show, in the story. You cannot possibly have anything go as it's supposed to be because everybody's gay now. If these two are scissoring, it's going to be a really far leap that Elayne is going to get twins put in her belly later on down the road.
Magical insemination.
Oh no.
Because there's they haven't built a relationship between her and Rand. And if and what they're going to do when they separate, whatever happens with Aviendha and Rand in the waste, when they go to the waste in this season, they're supposed to then continue back across the spine of the world back to the regular world. After that, all the interactions are going to be wrong now, because it's not going to be Aviendha fighting her attraction to Rand, pretending to herself, lying to herself that she needs to make sure that Elayne is the one he should be with. That's gone. It's gone. Their whole relationship is going to be gone because it's built on that, and it starts from there with Rand not getting what the hell her problem is for the longest time, because then she's sent to spy on him. It's a whole thing. So it's all wrong. Not to mention the other gay shit I've mentioned before, because this is another thing. I bring it back this. Why do stands, and they all go all over the place with her, that chick who plays Nynaeve in this, they claim, oh, you're so beautiful, so beautiful. This is the next one I'm going to show you, this next part of this. Why do stands say ugly women are beautiful?
To make themselves feel beautiful.
Because the next one is Swan Sanche, who was at the time the Emerald Seat, the head of the Aes Sedai, who is straight in the books, ends up having a very important relationship with Gareth Bryne as the story goes on. Supposed to be pretty, but not gay. That's her in the show.
She's aged a lot since Doctor Who.
Oh,
hey, wasn't she in Eon Flux?
I don't know. I didn't watch that movie.
No,
Point is, this is not beauty, but they made her gay with what's her name playing Moiraine. Forgot her name all of a sudden. Doesn't matter. It's
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, thank you. Rosamund Pike, who is attractive? Rosamund Pike is attractive, but they made her the center of the story, but she's not. So they fill these shows with all these women to be gay together. They haven't made any of the men gay yet, which I find odd.
That is her. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
IMDb'd it.
Yeah, it's her.
Point is, they make all the women gay. They haven't made any of the men gay. Of course, none of the men are gay in Robert Jordan's. None of the main characters are gay. Nobody is gay in Robert Jordan's story. They're all heterosexual people having somewhat dysfunctional relationships at times, but having relationships. Well, that's a three-way, Kale. That's a forced three-way. So there are the Green Aja Aes Sedai can have multiple warders. They're special guardians. They can bond to multiple ones. And in the show, one of them has two warders, and they're in a throuple all the time.
Oh,
and in season 1, when one warder lost his Aes Sedai, and they offered him to join her group, he ended up Minecrafting himself rather than joining. He Minecrafted himself rather than join their throuple and make it a quintuple. Or no, a quintuple, that's 5. I could do math. A quadruple. Sorry, I can do it. I could get there. Either way, but this is where we are. To bring it back, you're given lore, you're giving hard source material, and you actively change it to suit your fucked up needs. And for what? For who? Because none of these shows are successful. They are working hard on these fake stands on X for Waste of Time, Wheel of Prime. They're working overtime saying, this is the best fantasy series. I'm so glad I watched it. This is now the standard for all fantasy series going forward. Fantasy is back, baby. We're here. It's the greatest show on television. Everybody's watching it. You leave X, nobody's talking about this show. Nobody's talking about it. Now, it might track because it's a multiple episode drop next week, and we know how those retarded metrics work,
It
might.
There's not even enough interest for the show that I would confidently say that a batch release would get it into the Nielsen's.
Bottom 5 at best.
At best,
maybe the way Samba does it, it might get Samba. If I've heard Samba's not putting shit up lately though. So, point is, nobody cares about this because this show in particular, and I've made this debate. We did a whole stream on it a couple years ago. It's one thing to have Rings of Power, which is made by retards, actively stupid retards who are just dumb. I don't think what they I've made the case. Rings of Power is not malice; it's just retarded. What Rafe Judkins has done with this show is done out of malice for Robert Jordan and his actual fans. To make these two characters gay together, just to appease the scissoring window lickers on X and Facebook and wherever and Reddit, you're evil. You're a bad person to destroy it. Everything he has done has been out of malice. And that's why, and I think it's finally coming home to roost because, as we mentioned a minute ago in a previous segment, he was in charge of God of War TV show. He's the one they gave it to originally. If he was still in good place, in a good position, standing with Amazon, they wouldn't have taken it away and given it to Ron D. Moore. Which leads me to believe this show will be canceled now. I think it's coming because season 1, right after it came out, a week or two later, season 2 was announced. Season 2 was announced before they even premiered season 1 last time, I believe, if I remember correctly. There is not even a murmur about season 3. There are people going, season 4. People going right now, please, we need season 4, or we're already starting that, which means there's not even a whisper of season 4 right now. And I reiterate, how do you even go far? For those who are in the know, they've skipped tier entirely. They're going from the end of The Great Hunt right to the beginning of Shadow Rising now, where Rand's going to take everybody to the waste. And they have the fall of the White Tower, but they do it where some god-awful, over-the-top fake magic battle happens, and everybody gets destroyed, where the Black Sisters rise up behind Leandrin and attack Swan and all the loyal Aes Sedai and break the tower, and then Aleda's going to swoop in and pick up the pieces of Aleda, who should have been introduced 2 seasons ago. So they're going to do all that when, in reality, the Black Sisters, they left in the dead of night, stole a bunch of Angreal, Sangreal, and Terangreal, and ran off. And then Swan sends Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elayne to go hunt them and find them and report back. And then when Swan is deposed by Aleda, it happens in the dead of night without a fight. It's just swift and brutal. She gets stilled, and then she has to escape with Min and her crew, and then with Gareth Bryan, and all kind of shit happens. That's how it happens. There's no magic battle where suddenly Moiraine and all of them are in Tar Valon, and she shows up to save her scissor wife. That doesn't happen, but all of these fake fans and stans are lauding the show for this fan fiction. So that's why, in the end, I say it's malice. And I'm not even going to bother because it's not even booked. There's nothing for me to really compare it to anymore in contrast. The previous season, there was some remnants that I can compare and contrast and say, okay, this is where it gets even worse, breaking book. We're off book. We skipped the book. We skipped a whole bunch of character development. They're going to first go to Perrin with the hammer and the axe. The dichotomy of it, does he choose the hammer or does he choose the axe? They have spent 2 seasons. He hasn't even picked up the axe yet. He's never wielded the axe. And I know Jed and Dre have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but that's okay. They've done nothing. They gave Perrin Matt's story. They've given Matt nothing to do. They've manufactured a story around Matt. They don't know anything. They've stolen all of Rand's agency. He's been saved more times than any woman in history at this point by everybody else. and they don't even understand the rules of the world they live in. The one power in the show is just a single thing. There's no two halves, which means they're not even doing the proper story that Robert Jordan was telling, that with two halves, one used by men, one used by women, only time great things can happen is when men and women work in equality 50-50 at the same time. They will always create grand instead of trying to do things separately. They've abandoned that theme that Robert Jordan made present in his entire story, and that Brandon Sanderson did his best to drive home with the final 3 books. There's no way this continues. And when it gets canceled, then you'll see me do a video, because I am going to piss all over these people. And I'm going to tell them, no, it's not raining. I'm pissing on your heads.
Like R. Kelly.
Doo-doo butter. Anyway, you get it. All right, so this is this is truly an abomination. There's no path to victory. I think Rafe Judkins is done. I think they're going to cancel this show. There's no saving it. As Jed said, he doesn't see any evidence of everybody talking about it. I only know about it. I only get flooded with this shit because I troll these idiots. It's been my focus. There's been a lot of Disney Star Wars just to troll. So I've been trolling these assholes for a couple of weeks now. So I get to see this, but it's going nowhere. It's done. It's over. And when it's canceled, I'm going to celebrate. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out my gaming channel at Renaissance Nerd Arcade, and follow me on X Twitter under @TheRedNerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.